to the channel on the United Racing Championship. We're here for episode 7 of the URC Podcast. Tonight we are joined by the Williams driver, former Alfa Romeo and Ferrari driver, ItzWolfyz. ItzWolfyz, how you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Very good, very good. So obviously Wolfs he was a reserve last season, and now he is a full-time driver. It's been an on and off season for you, hasn't it?
It really has, yeah.
Yeah, we'll look at your results. You're P8 in the standings, so not bad. It's a good. You're in the top 10.
Yeah, best of the rest.
It's exactly. So you are in the top 10. You started off the season on quite a high, but before we get to that, first of all, how did you find the league, and what was your initial first thoughts of it?
Yeah, honestly reserved. I joined this league. I saw it on TikTok, and I joined. I think it was Monza, my first race.
Yeah.
And I liked it because I could actually compete for top fives and stuff like that. And obviously I pulled like a little carnage, but the people were nice, except a certain someone that let's not talk about that. But
let's not go into that. Yeah, let's focus on you.
It was really good. People were nice, especially you.
Thank
you're
you.
very welcome.
Very much.
You're very welcoming, and
thank you. I really
you
appreciate
helped
that.
me a lot. Yeah, you helped me a lot. Because I knew no one.
Yeah.
So yeah, very very nice people.
Thank you. We do appreciate that. And obviously, then for the new season, you were pumped. You were excited to get going for season 2. You were, while I was away, I think there wasn't a day where you didn't mention, "I'm so excited for season 2." Putting season 1 behind me, it's a fresh start. And you started off the season very well with Ferrari. You got a podium in Bahrain. I mean, that is kind of like an explosion onto the scene. Like, you really did show your pace and your consistency and keeping it clean in that race. So, yeah, talk to us about Bahrain.
That was the main goal. Yeah, that was the main goal, was keeping it clean, because obviously the 2 races I reserved, took out like 2 people.
Yeah.
So the goal for this season was like show everybody that I'm clean, and I wasn't expecting to get a podium, but and I remember saying Bahrain is awful on this game, and it's like my best result this year. So
yeah, absolutely. And after Bahrain, I just think the luck, the curse, we will say, kicked in, because in Miami you scored 2 points. And then you had a 3 no point scoring up until USA, where you scored 1 point, and then after the break, I think you were hoping a second half would be better. And the second half, I have to say, has been better for you, because
much better.
You got 4 points in Austria, 12 in Japan. Hungary is a race to forget. It was a complete nightmare, that race.
Yeah.
And then, despite obviously getting 1 point in Australia and 1 point in Italy, it's 2 back-to-back points finishes. You have to look at it in a positive way,
Yeah, it's better. It's better than no points, I guess.
So obviously you're with Williams. How are things with your teammate in terms of relationships, and how is it going with Pat Kenny?
Yeah, he's a good lad, and obviously we raced a little in Monza, and I enjoyed that. We're getting close.
I saw that.
Yeah, a few panic attacks, but yeah, we're good friends, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. It did look like you were evenly paced, battling for either at sometimes no points, or even battling for that 1 point. But to be fair, you kept it clean with each other, and I think it was actually great to watch on the stream, the 2 Williams lads getting to have a go at each other for very little points. But it's just, I think, it's trying to establish who is the quicker driver, who has that more consistency, and that was a very interesting battle to see. Coming obviously to the end of the season now, and Abu Dhabi is next week. You have been you obviously are with Red Bull next season, and it's a big move for you, because of your teammate could potentially be a two-time world champion after Abu Dhabi. Does
Yeah.
that give you like how does that make you feel? Does that make you feel like you have to perform next season now just to get him
Yeah.
to help him out?
Yeah,
Or
of course it does.
yeah. So do you feel any
I don't
pressure?
want to. No, no pressure. But obviously, I don't want to be the guy that just get carried by his teammate and like imagine winning a constructorship when you have like only 20 points in the drivers, and your teammates getting all the points. I don't. I want to bring points with my butt. Obviously, I want to help
Yeah.
him out. I don't want to get P10s every race, top six minimum.
Because I know you and McBot have had, unfortunately, had contact in Austria, and it might have, I don't know if it struck tension between you, but obviously FaZe was definitely annoyed by it. But moving on from that, I think hopefully next season you will be able to work together as a
Yeah,
good pairing because um I think you need to, for the constructors, because just the lineup next season is so like quick. Rayan and
so competitive. Yeah,
Mercedes, S Junior in the Haas, Banter King McLaren, Bunsey
yeah,
and
really
Aston,
competitive.
and then Kajoko and Ferrari. So and obviously the two AlphaTauris, they are really quick, Marley and Griffin. So it's a very competitive grid next season, and obviously McBot is going to be expecting you to perform. He's obviously going to be, easy with you and try and help you maybe get a bit quicker, but he will be expecting you to be pulling off, uh, you know, top 10 performances at the minimum because, his teammate Ryan Curran has been struggling to do that this season, and FaZe doesn't want another teammate like that.
Yeah, that just uh, that just makes it worse. I'm fighting Ryan Curran right now, who's faster. Like he's at least 3 tenths faster than me, and I'm going to replace him with McBott's gonna replace him like with me, and I'm like slower than Ryan Curran. I'm fighting him in championship.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And obviously Bunsey, who just joined the league in Australia, is only 4 points behind in the standings. So
Yeah,
it,
that
it
guy's
does go
rapid.
to show that, Bunsey has the pace, but he's also clean. He hasn't had any bad luck really, and he has the pace that he has the pace to get by everyone again. But I think I think what you are in is obviously in development, and a lot of the new drivers who come into this league and aren't as quick as others are going to be developing, and we're going to see progress. Like Griffin, like it's such an example, and I obviously say his name a lot, but you should have seen how
Yeah,
slow he was at the start of season one to now what he has. He's fighting for third in the championship, like or fourth even, you know. So it's
yeah,
just a
he's ex
developing over a season, and it can happen to anyone. Now we'll come to Williams itself. Now Williams, they're obviously the defending constructors champions. They haven't really obviously they've had drivers in and out of the team this season, so they have been unlucky and they haven't been able to defend their title. You sit 2 points behind AlphaTauri in the constructors. Is your aim in Abu Dhabi to beat them?
yes, and try to beat Red Bull as well. So
Yeah, because to beat Red Bull, it would be a lot. You would need eight. I think you're realistically speaking, you're 18 points off Red Bull, so it's a big ask from you and Pa
we're,
to
yeah,
try and
we're capable of it because Pa is rapid as well.
yeah,
He gets so unlucky. Like you don't see his pace. I thought he was slower than me, but he's rapid. I saw it in Australia when he was like P5 without any penalties, and then
yeah.
obviously spun. Yeah, so yeah, if our luck, if we have like good luck that race, we're capable of scoring 18 points definitely.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously, just to get your opinions, obviously as another driver with another team, you're obviously witnessing the championship battle obviously this season. What has been your thoughts on it so far? Like do you think it's something exciting for the league?
It's been amazing, man. It's been amazing. There was highs and lows all races, and obviously McBot and Banter have been pushing it every race.
Yeah,
Uh, and the pressure, Monza, the pressure got so like for McBot when Banter King. You said on stream, yeah, McBot has relief. If I was in his position, I would have been shaking my leg while driving.
yeah. I think like it's from a commentator's perspective, it you can say that that the driver has relief. But when you actually get in that driver's position, FaZe actually, he struggled a lot that race. He made the wrong call. He made an early call to go into the mediums, which really struggled while it was still a wet track. He also spun the car in sector 2 and was lucky to not put it in a wall. So FaZe was just as, we'll say, worried as Banter was that race. And obviously now he has 16 points going into Abu Dhabi. But for yourself, I'm pretty sure it's about getting ahead of Ryan Kern and finishing ahead of him this season.
Yeah, that would be bragging rights.
It would definitely give you a bit of momentum and a bit of a confidence boost going into Red Bull. How are you feeling actually going into Red Bull? Because Red Bull, they do need a good performance next season to really make
I
themselves a team of a championship. Like,
The car, man, the car looks awful. I swear to God, the livery is disgusting. I'd rather be in an Aston Martin, I think.
yeah, sure.
Well,
Look,
yeah,
Red Bull, I think, they weren't great last season either. They definitely haven't been good this season in terms of their results. Um, they do need that pairing, and I think FaZe is going to be the driver that can help them
yeah.
uh, to do that. And obviously with Rayan in Mercedes, FaZe and Red Bull, it could very much be a Lewis Verstappen championship with them. And obviously Pat Kenny will be the Lando Norris of McLaren, and Kajoko the
Yeah,
Leclerc of Ferrari. So it's all going to be, you
it's
know,
gonna be amazing.
it's going to be a quite the season, I think.
So balanced as well, because the midfield is also so the pace is similar. Like the top four, SJR, Bunchy, Banter, Ryan. Even though Ryan's been off form in like all leagues I've raced in so far, I believe he will win next year as well. Ryan, he has so much pace,
Yeah, he
and
does.
yeah, five. The top five is so equal, and then you have the midfield, which is also so equal. Like, don't count Marley out of the top five as well. He's
Oh,
he's rapid
absolutely
as well.
not. No, no. Can never count him out because Marley, he had
I
a
do
podium
believe,
in
yeah,
Hungary, sure.
yeah, I do believe he will challenge at least at the start of the season. He will challenge for at least top two in the drivers. He's
Yeah,
really consistent as well. He rarely gets if he DNFs, it's being taken out because he rarely makes mistakes.
absolutely, definitely, I agree with you. Now, obviously, looking at the calendar next season, it's an interesting calendar. A couple tracks do return. Singapore is the first round. Obviously, are you happy with Singapore?
I realized Singapore wasn't. I was in a party with Wicked, and I said Australia is the first race because I didn't read the announcement. And like Singapore is one of my favorite tracks this year, like because I'm actually good at it. And I was so happy that we're starting with Singapore. We're starting maybe on a high.
Yeah, because Singapore in season one, the main reason why, and I don't think I said this like in the Discord, but it was the main reason why because Singapore was such a shit race in season one. It had drivers targeting other drivers trying to take them out intentionally, and I was just like, okay, this cannot happen. But no, Singapore is a good track. It's very good for overtaking it, and it'll hopefully be a great start to the season. Now, obviously, we have Canada after that. That's the one track we are yet to really race on as a league. How do you feel about Canada on a calendar?
Uh, it's a meh. Obviously, the track limits are so bad.
Yeah.
Uh, like Wall of Champions. It's a
hmm
mad track. I don't like it, but I don't hate it. It's just in the middle because of the track limits.
And then obviously we return on the 8th of December. We go to Baku.
Oh, mate, I love you.
Now, a lot of people hate Baku if they're a URC driver. And
I
again,
love Baku.
it was the worst race, bar Hungary, that the URC ever raced in. But yes, Baku is an incredible track because of the overtaking opportunities. It will hopefully be a better race than we had last season, or I will be having a therapy session booked for the last three races.
It's amazing. I love Baku, man. I actually love you for putting it on.
And for
It's
the
so
obviously for
amazing.
the calendar itself, do you like the calendar as a whole?
Yeah, I like it, except Zandvoort. That's the only track that I hate. I despise the track. There's like no traction on it on the new game.
Exactly, and obviously with the sprint races, then I've chosen two tracks obviously to be sprints. Saudi Arabia and Mexico are our sprint races for
Ooh.
for next season. So again, your
Ooh.
opinions on them?
I don't know if Saudi Arabia. I think it's kind of like weird. I don't know. I would have thought Imola would be a sprint. Maybe instead of Saudi.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, right? The thing is, the reason why that is Imola's right after Mexico, so
Yeah,
it would
yeah.
be a sprint back to back. You see,
Yeah, that is true. But
so
yeah, I don't mind. I love Mexico as well, so
yeah, Mexico was actually I think it was supposed to be on this season's calendar.
yeah. I think
But
instead of
it was
Monza, wasn't it?
it was supposed to be round 11, and I changed it, so that won't happen next season. All the tracks here listed on the calendar will stay put, and I'm gonna obviously try and abide to that. Obviously, round four is Monaco. We go back to Monaco next season as round four because the champion of last season obviously loves Monaco, so it
Right.
made him happy to have it for this season.
Yeah,
What are your
yeah.
thoughts on Monaco?
It's actually really decent for me, to be honest. On time trial, I have a decent lap.
Yeah,
My race pace is actually so good on it. I think it will be a good race if I don't hit the wall 17 times. Uh, but yeah, I think it will be a good race for us.
yeah, yeah, definitely. And just obviously for yourself, then, what is your objective next season? Like your own personal objective. Never mind working with Phase or um, in terms of the drivers, where would you like to see yourself after Abu Dhabi of next season?
Uh, P6, yeah, I would love a P6 at the championship.
Very
I don't
good.
think I don't,
It's
yeah,
a
I don't think
massive
I'm,
call, obviously,
yeah,
because of the five or six drivers that are in contention. I think for this championship next season, it's a big call. But I think if you can pull off P6, I think it'd be very good for you because obviously P6 right now is S Junior with 66 points, and he's only done that since he came into
yeah,
the league in Austria. So he could be on a lot more if he started the season with us. But um,
yeah.
P6
Obviously,
is definitely achievable. You know.
yeah, obviously defend my P8 right now or P7. Who knows who I'm gonna get, and finish ahead of Ryan Curran. That's the most important part.
Yeah, definitely. Well, look, obviously, um, you have been a clean racer this season, and you have definitely been keeping it clean in comparison to last season. But next season, obviously, is a big jump from Williams to Red Bull. You know,
Yeah,
a team that has such a competition, such has a big history in the competition. So, and obviously a teammate who we don't want to say it now, but could be going for a third championship next season,
yeah,
and he'll need all the help he can get. But yeah, that I think pretty much covers that in terms of this podcast. And how did you actually find Monza though in the overall race? How did you find it?
Ooh, in the full, I think I was better in full wets than I was in inters. I think my pace was much better in the full wets compared to others in the
Very
inters. But
interesting.
that obviously
Very
then
interesting. Yeah.
the pit incident happened, and I could have had P5 that race. Honestly, I was on fresh sauce. I did have a 3 second penalty. I was on fresh sauce, but I had to box again because someone had to use pit assist. So
All right.
uh, yeah, I was
Okay.
so confused.
Yeah, the race obviously it was the first time we had full wet conditions in a race, and of course it just had to um of course it had to be that race of round 11 um where the rain just it where the rain it would affect every driver, but
Yeah,
we'll see what happens next season. Wolves, thank you for obviously coming on tonight and
yeah.
making
Thank
the
you for
time.
having me.
No worries.
Yeah,
And yeah, thank you again.
yeah. Thank you.
So, for those obviously who are still tuned in, there is a video on the channel, obviously, with the pre-race build-up to Abu Dhabi next week. The trailer for the championship is there. It's separated by 16 points between FaZe and McBot. It's a big ask, obviously, for Banter King to win this title, but I think everyone would agree now that this title is in FaZe's hands for Abu Dhabi. Obviously, then in 2 weeks' time, we're in Singapore for round one of the new season. So it's a complete new restart. There's no break. We just go straight in to the new season. So that's exciting. It's going to hopefully be very, very close next season with the racing and the drivers that we have. But yeah, until Abu Dhabi next week, or I might even do a race build-up. So Wolves, if you want to leave the party there, and I will just summarize a bit up of Monza.
Alright, thank you, mate, for your time.
No worries, man. Have a good night.
Yeah, I'll hopefully see you on Thursday. Maybe you get a podium.
Oh, hopefully. That'd be
Yeah,
great.
hopefully.
That'd be great, man.
Alright. Yeah,
All
see
right,
you, man.
see you around. See you around.
Yeah, Forza Williams as well. Forza Williams,
Forza
always.
Williams, absolutely.
Yeah, see you.
So again, obviously, let's look back then. As Wolves has just left, let's have a look at Monza, and let's just go through pretty much every detail that we need to look at here. So obviously Monza, McBot came away with 14 points. So he didn't come away with what he would have wanted. He really wanted to win that race, and he just didn't. There was a lot of it was a Haas error in that race. They went on to the mediums way too early, and as you can see, they had to like go 50% throttle around the track, and they really struggled to get the mediums into temperature. For Banter King though, it was a really unfortunate race. 4 points in the sprint race, which was good damage limitation. But a DNF in lap one was really, really unfortunate for him, and that's why the championship is set by 16 points. It's a really big gap for a championship finale, but you know, it still doesn't defeat the purpose that the championship has come down to the last round, despite the gap and the points gap being so, we'll say, large. 16 points is a lot. Ryan then in P3. Ryan has had quite a good season since he came in, since Netherlands. He's really going to be, hopefully, a driver to, you know, challenge next season, really challenge for race victories, because he has the pace to do it. He's had, you know, 6 points in the Netherlands, 15 in Jeddah, 18 in USA, and then 31 in Austria. So, you know, he's had 3 podiums this season. Japan, unfortunately, because of internet connection, he just dropped off. And then Hungary, he got 11, 2 points in Australia, and 10 in Italy. So it has been a second, well, like after Austria, he has been a bit on the downfall, but he might hopefully have a good finale in Abu Dhabi. Griffin then, his teammate, we know how consistent he's been since the start of the season. Griffin obviously finished P5 in Bahrain, P4 in Miami, then he got second in Britain. I don't think he DNF'd in Netherlands. 2 points in Jeddah, 6 in USA, a podium, second place in Austria, 10 points in Japan, 6 in Hungary, 6 in Australia, and then 12 in Italy. So he's scored in the last. He has scored in the last 6 races, actually. So his points run has been running for 6 races in a row. And obviously Marley and S Jr. are at P5 and P6. They're separated by 17 points. And obviously Marley has been doing very, very well for Alfa Romeo. Same with S Jr. A win and a podium back to back. It says a lot about his pace. He's definitely going to be a title contender next season. P7, Ryan Curran has had a very unfortunate season. I'm sure he hasn't had the season that he's wanted to have. He will hopefully, with Bunsey next season, be more consistent and pull out the results that he knows he can do. Same with Wolves, who we just spoke to. Wolves has that potential with Red Bull next season. You know, he showed his true pace in Bahrain. He can get pole position. He did it in Britain. So the pace is there for Wolves. He just has to stop having unfortunate races and bad luck, and pull the results together, and it will come for him. Bunsey is a serious title contender in the space of 2 races. He won in Australia, he won in Italy, back-to-back race wins. Says a lot about his pace. Wicked Red, again, a driver of development. A podium in Miami, but has been off pace since then. Storm and Glenn, 2 very moderately consistent drivers. Again, they'll find their pace. Kajoko, he didn't have a good first half of the season. He was struggling a lot. Came back on the scene in Australia, scored a podium, and then scored another podium in Monza. So he has done very, very well since he's obviously come back. Harrison is in that development stage. Pat Kenny as well. He has pace. He's just been so unfortunate, as Wolf's mentioned. Gabri is in serious development in terms of race pace and racecraft. Really needs to improve for him. Moon Guy, obviously, we have to see what he does. I'm just gonna put in Gabri here. I need to change around the standings anyway, but yeah. So obviously we have LOI Azza joining us next season, and what we'll do, and obviously OP Gamer then is last, and same with Daniel Mullen, who haven't scored any points yet. But looking at the driver lineup for next season then, if you're not familiar with it, I just have pictures here. Sorry, it's this lineup here. So obviously in the Mercedes then we have Rayan and Daniel Mullen 96. So Daniel Mullen joined a couple of races back, and he'll be racing with Rayan. So Rayan obviously will be the #1 driver, and Daniel will be the #2 because he's on it obviously in development in this league. He had good pace around Monza, and he'll hopefully be able to show it again next week in Abu Dhabi. But he is the second Mercedes driver. Red Bull then, possibly the defending champion, FaZe McBot, will be racing with Wolves, and that is the Red Bull lineup. A very good lineup, very very quick driver and very mediocre driver. Wolves will get quicker though, I hope. Ferrari then, obviously we have Kajoko and LOI Azza. So Azza is actually really quick in Tier 4. He has some good pace. Kajoko is really good as well. So 2 very quick drivers. Ferrari could have a better lineup next season, and a very good lineup even, and could look extremely competitive. Looking at McLaren then, possibly a season 2 runner-up, Banter King. Banter King and Pat Kenny. So Banter King will be hopefully going for the championship again next season. I think he will want it next season as much as more as he wants it this season. If he doesn't win it this season, he'll be destined to get it next season. And Banter King and Pat Kenny line up in the McLaren. Then in the Alpine, we'll have... It looks like we're going to have Gabri... Sorry. I will need to look at that actually. Yeah, we'll have... We won't... Sorry, no, hang on. So in the Alpine we'll have Gabri and OP Gamer. Actually on the Alpine team. So again, OP Gamer very quick. He just has been so unlucky in these last rounds. And then Gabri obviously in that development stage as well as a driver in terms of racecraft. AlphaTauri then. AlphaTauri probably have the most consistent lineup for next season. Sorry, just a comment coming in there. Hello, Caden Conway. Marley and Griffin, probably the most consistent pairing I would say for next season, just because of their overall pace, their friendliness towards each other. They do have a good friendship. So AlphaTauri will be consistent next season. Then we got Aston Martin, Bunsey and Ryan Curran. Obviously Bunsey showing his pace this season, will be quick next season. Same with Ryan Curran, he has the pace, he just unfortunately is a bin merchant. Williams Racing then is obviously Harrison and Moon Guy. Moon Guy is obviously fairly new to the league. Harrison's new to the league as well. So a new lineup obviously for the Williams team, and obviously we'll have to see how they perform in the next season. In terms of Alfa Romeo then, there's obviously Wicked Red and Storm. Wicked Red from Mercedes to Alfa Romeo, and then Storm is going from Ferrari to Alfa Romeo. In terms of Haas then, Haas is obviously S Junior and Glenn Mack. So Glenn Mack does have pace. S Junior is rapid, as we've seen this season. So Haas could become a constructors contender again next season with the lineup that they have. And if you're looking for a calendar rundown as well, I can give that just an update as well on the calendar. So round 1 is obviously Singapore, as we mentioned, and we'll go to the track list because why not? Time trial. So as we said, round 1 is Singapore. Round 2 is Canada, which is here. Round 3 is the Netherlands. Round 4 is Monaco, which is just here. Round 5 is Saudi, which is the second round of the F1 season. So round 5 is here, Saudi Arabia. Round 6 is Belgium. And then obviously the season break, the week of the 17th of November. Then we got Mexico, which is here. And then we got Imola, which is back here for round, I believe that's round 8. Round 8 is Imola. Round 9 is Azerbaijan. Round 10 is Hungary, which is here. Round 11 is Brazil, and that's 2 days before Christmas Eve. And then the UAE, Abu Dhabi is the finale on the 29th of December, just 2 days before New Year's Eve. So that is what we're looking at then, ahead of Season 3. Abu Dhabi, obviously, is a big race, as we know. So, yeah, obviously Abu Dhabi next week is a big race. It's going to be a lot for the championship contenders. Obviously the constructors as well, and all the drivers will be looking to get the most points as they possibly can. But the season has been amazing. This season has been quite something. But yeah, that's it for tonight, and we'll see you all next Thursday for Abu Dhabi. Till then, goodbye.